The three major effects of XALO are the rejuvenation effect. This means strength, muscle, skeleton, strong bones, strong muscles. The second one is a cellular effect, an energy effect, and it takes place at the level of what are called the mitochondria. The mitochondria are like little factories to change food into energy. And there are many, many of these little mitochondria in all body tissues. In tissues which are very metabolically active, like muscle and brain, then there is more mitochondrial there than there is in the other parts of the body. Mitochondria, as we get older, die. They do not replace themselves completely. And so we have one of the effects which we think is very important in terms of aging by stimulating the regeneration of mitochondria and protecting them against damage so that they do not go offline. Okay? Now, the third effect is a cardiovascular effect. When you think of the things which go wrong as you get older, very often it has to do with your heart, how well it pumps, and with the vessels in your body, how well do they function. The reason for hypertension is generally that the vessels stop expanding appropriately. And so in the XALO, there are elements which help the vessels to open more effectively. There are things from grapes and grape skins and grape seeds that are very useful to the heart, protecting it as it does its work. And so there are these three major effects. The rejuvenation effect of giving you the strength, the muscle, and retaining that as you get older. The effect at the cellular level of protecting the mitochondria. And the third effect of helping your cardiovascular system work properly. Now, this does not mean that it does not affect the brain, that it does not affect the nerves. It does. These overlap, but those are the major effects. You know, this is something that people have noticed in many studies. Some studies done in Japan, some studies done in America. And then it wasn't until I came to Taiwan that someone said to me, we have a little machine that measures the water in your skin. And before we take the XALO, we don't have as much water in our skin as we do when we take the XALO. That is a function of how the elements at the cellular level work at keeping collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the skin. It is the reason that skin is flexible. It is the reason that it can protect us as a layer. It is the reason why it is thick. As we age, collagen fibrils break down, mostly due to sunlight effect, but also toxins and other effects. And so anything that is going to give the nutrients to collagen to swell up again, to hold more water, and there is also something else called hyaluronic acid that is in the skin and that holds and attracts water. And these are the things that are affected by the elements at the cellular level in the XALO age. And that is the reason why the skin holds more water. There is in the XALO age product something called polyphenols from lychee. Now lychee has a history of many centuries of being used for its health benefits. But the polyphenol means groups of little chemical rings stuck together in a chain. And these chains normally have an average of 16 different units in them. They are fairly large. And when you digest the lychee and it goes into your abdominal tract, it cannot get across the gut very easily. it is too large. The Japanese have found a natural pair of snippers called an enzyme that when they mix it with the lychee polyphenols, it cuts these groups of 16 down to 3, to 2, and to 1. And in the studies that they have done, they have shown that this increases the ability of the body to absorb the good things from the lychee 400% better. So that is why we have the lychee making a difference in our body at all levels. But it has a special effect on what is called visceral fat. Now, we can have fat under our skin. Look at this. I have fat here. You can pinch it. You can pinch it here. That is subcutaneous fat. But we also have bad fat in our bellies, in our gut, that we cannot pinch because it is underneath the body wall. It packs, just like you might put a package together to ship it so it will not hurt anything, just like you put little pieces of styrofoam in. The fat inside our body packs our organs. It packs around the heart. It packs around the kidneys. It packs around the spleen and around the pancreas. And it is very dangerous because it doesn't just act like packing, it actually makes hormones, bad hormones, hormones which cause inflammation. Now, in a study that the Japanese did using a CAT scan is a machine that lets you look at the body. And they looked at a slice of the abdomen. And they could see that there was a lot of fat because these were obese people. And they could see the fat packing the organs. They did nothing different. No more exercise, no change in diet. They only took the lychee that they hadn't taken before. At the end of 8 weeks, or 10 weeks, I'm not sure, they took another picture of the abdomen, and that fat had decreased by 15%. So you can imagine that even if the fat under the skin did not change, the fat inside the abdomen did, and there would be a reduction. But at the same time, we have these other elements that are there, such as leucine, such as some of the other amino acids, because there are several in there, that are there to build up muscle. So while the fat is disappearing inside, the muscle is getting stronger. Now, it will happen all over the muscles, and so you cannot see a change in the measurements of your muscles, but gradually you are building more muscle and you are losing fat. Muscle weighs more than fat. So your waist size goes down as you lose the fat, and your muscles get larger all over your body, and your weight stays the same. There is something that is not well understood by most people, and that is that sleep, good quality sleep of at least 7 hours every night, is as important as what you eat and the exercise that you do as far as health is concerned. And unfortunately today we do not know why, perhaps because everybody is playing with video games or watching TV, but people do not sleep the same as they did before. Also, when you age, it becomes harder to get good quality sleep. And so the XANGO company decided to put something called GABA. This is another amino acid. And it is not to build protein. This one is to take information between nerve cells. Nerve cells do not completely touch each other. There is a very small space between the nerves called a synapse. And the only way to get the information from one nerve to the next is to have a chemical called a neurotransmitter that will take it across. GABA is one of about 7 major neurotransmitters for the body. It works mostly in the brain. And it has two very important effects. One, it calms the brain. And so it is appropriate to take this in the evening before you go to sleep, because the effect of the GABA will be to take you into a deeper sleep and a sleep that is longer. Now, it also, in some people, not everyone, has the effect of increasing dreams. Many times that's pleasant. We most of us like to dream. But if the dreams are unpleasant or keep you a little bit agitated, then take the XALO age about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and that will lessen the effect. The second effect of the GABA is to cause a surge in growth hormone when you are asleep. It is when we are asleep that most of the protein rebuilding takes place in our body. And so having growth hormone, which is very important for any kind of repair, go up because of extra GABA that you have taken, that is a benefit. And so the GABA is there for two reasons. It helps with the sleep, and it helps to build protein during the sleep. But we have had many people who have told us that this has happened. In fact, I experienced it myself. The only reason that I can postulate, and again understand there are no studies that say this is what happens. This is just a doctor supposing that this may be the effect. The lens of the eye gets pulled by muscles, larger and smaller, so that you can see more distantly or more closely depending on the size of the lens. As we get older, all of our body tends to dehydrate. Our skin and also the lens. And so the lens is not so plastic. And that is why older people sometimes, when they used to be able to read a book here, now they have to read the book out here because the lens in their eye is not as flexible as it was before. But for the same reasons that I spoke about skin, the elements at the cellular level that are in this product tend to attract water, keep skin thicker, and I presume that it may be helping the eye at the lens to be able to get more of a youthful response. I use it every evening before I go to bed. Now, at the beginning when I did this, I had very strong dreams. And so for about 3 months, I had to go back to using it about 5 o'clock in the afternoon rather than just at bedtime. But after a while, those dreams subsided, and I went back to taking it before bedtime. Now, there are days, because I don't have to pay for it, when I will use more than one. And I use it at the time that I go to do a workout in the gym. As far as the XALO is concerned, I am quite satisfied that 1 dose per day is adequate to give most people the benefit that they like. However, if anyone takes the XALO and notices something that is very good for them, and they want more, take more. Just divide the doses.